Hello there, and welcome back to Writing from Scratch with me, Tom. On this episode, we're going to be talking about how to choose the name for the place where you're going to set your book. Choosing a name for the setting of your story is crucial for creating a convincing and potentially realistic novel. Today, I want to explore a few of the different methods that you can use to think of the perfect name for your story. To begin with, I want to make a really quick point, which is that your place name should try to make sense. Using a random assortment of letters to create a name is not particularly convincing as the setting of a story, so try and avoid doing this. Unless, of course, you're writing a very high fiction book that has completely different naming structures, then it might be acceptable, but it's still going to be a little bit confusing for the reader, so just be careful. So the first method is, of course, using real place names. Now, the degree to which you do this is entirely up to you. You can have everything the same from the house number up to the country, or you can just keep the country the same and create a new town or a new street or a new village. But using real place names is absolutely fine, and it's something that lots of successful authors do. A little trick that you can do here to add a little bit of a unique spin is ever so slightly adjusting the name of a pre-existing place. So for example, Thomas Hardy is famous for changing lots of place names, for example changing Abbotsbury to Abbotsea. So another great way of creating a new name is to look at the geography around you, or the geography in which your world is set. Most real-world places are named after geographical features, such as Plymouth, meaning the settlement on the mouth of the River Plym in English.
Even in other languages, this rule generally holds, such as Welsh, with the town of Aberystwyth meaning mouth of the River Rhystwyth.
Even in other cultures, such as Japan, places such as Osaka means large hill. So drawing on the geography allows you to create realistic and memorable names that will fit into the style of your book.
In a similar vein to geography, naming places after their man-made features is extremely common too. English settlements such as Newcastle, of course meaning the site of a new castle, or Oldbury, which means old town in Old English, or German locations such as Stuttgart, coming from the Old High German meaning stud farm. By choosing defining characteristics or the location's functionality, you can also create names that speak to the nature of the location immediately. Another great source of place names are people names. While this is not as common, some of them can really stand out and add depth to your world building. Take real-world examples such as Alexandria in Egypt, named after Alexander the Great, or Ho Chi Minh City, named after the former president of Vietnam, or Athens, named after the ancient Greek goddess. All of these can add real character to your location, though it has to be done in moderation.
So this leads on to another piece of advice, which is double translation. For my book, I'm planning to use Japanese place names, because this is something that I'm very familiar with, having lived in Japan in the past. So first of all, by translating a Japanese place name, such as Okayama, into English, we get Hill Mountain, which isn't a very inspiring or authentic English name. However, if I translate Hill Mountain again into another language, such as Cornish, I get Bremerhyd. Now that does sound like a very authentic, real place name that you would expect to find in Cornwall. Now the benefit of doing this double translation trick is that a lot of the hard work of creating names is already done for you. You just need some sort of translation medium. And if you use the same languages again and again and again, you will also create a consistent naming culture which will make your book sound more realistic and more authentic. So that's all we have time for today. I hope you found some of these tricks useful. Please let me know down in the comments below if you've got any other methods that you use for choosing place names. I'd be really interested to hear those. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with your friends, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.